Good evening, ladies, and well, not good evening, good afternoon. As you can see in front of the camera screen, you're not looking at me because right now I'm not important. I have traveled to the great state of Georgia in the lovely city of Atlanta, and this beautiful woman you see in front of your TV screen is my good friend Tia, who affectionately known to me and members of our group as Nola Darling. I want to first tell her thank you for honoring me with this request. I do appreciate it. She was able to come through and still a little time to spend talk with me, so I'm not going to be here all day with her, but I'm going to spend a little time with her. So I wanted to sit back and have a conversation. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll go from there. So most importantly of all, how are you doing, young lady?
I'm well. I'm doing great
Okay.
today. Got a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of a busy day, but I'm doing good.
Well, that's
I'm doing
good.
well.
Well, as you can see, she's a young entrepreneur. She's doing her own thing. If you haven't heard, if you haven't ordered, she does her own sip and paint kits. And it's available where? Because I don't have it memorized offhand.
It's okay. Basically, you can either hit me up on Facebook. I'm under Tia Sheree. My business name is Black Heart Art. And you can follow me on IG at blackheartart_7. So if you ever want to order a kit or a few kits, you just inbox me, DM me, and I'll take your order from there.
Okay. And I can proudly say she does good work. Because after all, I think I spent about $500 with her up front. And those are very good purchases that I've used. I love them personally. I brought two with me. My daughter and her older sister, they have a set as well. So, and they enjoy them. So it's honestly, it's good. It's a good purchase. It makes a good value, things of that nature. So if you get a chance, please invest your money and you will enjoy yourself. And also we are putting money back into the black hand. And that's something that we as need to promote as much as we can. And so I am promotion of that. So if you do feel you need a little, do some extra on a date, Valentine's, birthdays, wedding anniversaries, whatever. You want to do something a little different, support, and even show a little bit of creativity, because as we know, ladies love creativity. You can't always do the same thing all the time.
True.
So creativity is always important. So we want to make sure that we do that. Hold on, let me cut this TV off real quick.
Okay.
Off. There we go. Much better. So now back to this. Well, Tia, as we know, we are part of what we call a little special group or whatever, where we act a little bit uncouth.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So we have our moments.
We do.
So we have our moments. But I remember listening to your interview when you were on Chip and Chatter. I don't remember all of it. I'm not gonna lie. I did watch a good majority of it. Then I fell asleep in my truck because I was at work.
Yeah.
So I did remember a lot. So we know a little bit of your background, and we're not gonna get into that because why? It's you survived it or whatever. So, and you know, with me, I'm big on relationships or whatever, and I do remember saying that you were single at this moment or possibly dating or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I'm dating.
okay. So my thing is, and what some people who have seen your pictures or whatever, because I've been getting a lot of people like, what's she? I'm like, nigga, leave me alone. Okay.
Thank you.
You know, it's you command a lot of attention.
Thank you.
A lot of attention, and people are interested. So, in my opinion, I do have some questions. We're not gonna get to all of them. It's just not enough time in the day. So I want to just go through a few.
Okay.
And the first one I'm gonna say is so what type of guys do you like? What's your type?
Well, right now, I used to have a type, and my type was
Proceed.
tall, athletic. I used to have a thing for light-skinned guys, but yeah. Anyway, that's neither here or there. I like men. So, but my thing is how kind you are. Kindness is very important to me. You have to love children. You have to have a little bit of a drive, ambition, want to be a provider. So those are the kind of men that I like. I like men who are kind to me, who are willing to provide, love children, because in all honesty, that's what I would be searching for, you know, at the time.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Particularly in this dating age, whereas most of the people, when we get to our age bracket, because we're not over the hill, but we're not down at the bottom, we're right in the middle.
Exactly.
At a certain point, you do have to realize that, okay, most of the young ladies you're going to date might have children, and most of the men you might date will more likely have children as well. So it's kind of like one of them things like, okay, you kind of have to give and take. So I completely understand that, because even with me, I'm 41, I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks. Even I know that any young lady I might be pursuing might have children. So it's definitely something that we have to accept and realize that is what's going on in our culture.
Exactly.
So
I mean, it's like, and also we're in that age bracket where a lot of us have been divorced.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Sadly, might be widowed.
True.
So, you know, if you're looking around this time, you've probably already had something long-term, and the product of long-term relationships, and a lot of long-term relationships, are children. So,
yes,
you know, that's always a big thing for me is my girls.
Okay,
so.
And of course, and that's important. You have, I want to say you have 4 children.
I do. I have 4
and
children.
You have 3 girls who I've seen pictures of, and they are cute.
Thank you.
I will say that.
Thank you.
And one thing I am that really excites me about it's a job that's important that they're doing with you as well. Because every time I get the card, it's always your name and their names with it. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are supporting children as well,
that's right.
Young entrepreneurs, and that's something that we need here in this day and age. And they are cute as a button.
Thank
I
you.
will say that. And I love the fact that they write it in their own handwriting. So it's not mom writing it. You can tell it's their writing. So that's important. I myself, you've seen I would say little one, but hell, she's taller than you.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, you got to look at where she comes from. Daddy's a giant. So, you know, hey, it happens. So she's 12 and she loves it. You know, I have more at home that we do. So yes, in a long-term relationship, because I've divorced myself. I got married early. I was 20 when I got married.
Oh, wow.
And Max was 23, and we stayed married for 5 years, and then we divorced. And that's a long, drawn-out story that I'll tell later, because that has some tips and tumbles or whatever. But,
right.
You know, and I remember you saying, are you a Marvel comic or a DC comic kind of girl?
I mean, I'm both. I would say, but probably lean more to Marvel. But I'm really both. I just have a fascination with superheroes, period.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter to me whether it's the X-Men, whether it's, you know, more of the Marvel, like the movies we see lately, and the DC. It doesn't matter. I've seen the new Zack Snyder one, DC, you know, the extended version of Justice League, and I've watched every last Marvel movie that has come out. So.
Well, I haven't watched every last Marvel movie because I'm not interested in Ant-Man or the Wasp. I don't care.
They're good though.
Yeah, they're good.
I wasn't interested in those either, but they were really good. So
they're good. I mean, because Ant-Man does play a role in the whole series as you watch it. But he's just not one of them in my tier of favorites. And as far as now, the Zack Snyder. I watched a little bit of it because I watched the original, and the original was boring as wallpaper.
Right.
So I really couldn't get into it, but I gave it another shot, and it is okay. So I'll say it is okay thing. So I'm like, all right, whatever, it's cool. Me myself, I'm more Marvel more than DC because I identify more with the X-Men personally. Actually, what a lot of people don't know is. Stan Lee, that's creator of Marvel, he actually based Magneto and Professor X off of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. A lot of people don't know that, but that's true. So that pretty much shows that with that itself, it's kind of showing the struggle of mutants and us being African American, how we were first perceived and held to certain things throughout the years.
Exactly.
So that's more of a reason.
That's a lot of history in that.
A lot of history in that. So
I definitely knew that. I knew that little tidbit. But I mean, like I said, I love it all. With the Zack Snyder one, I felt like it was a more artistic view. You know, it was because you know his daughter had died during the production of the first one when they were doing it, when they were filming the first one.
Right.
And so they had to go with the, you know, the other director's cut, whatever. But I like that they came back around and that they added those longer pieces and everything. I felt like it made the movie more rich, and more full of detail. So I like both of them. I mean, I like the first Justice League. You know, I don't know. I just like superhero movies.
Well,
so.
and that's cool too. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I do superhero movies. I'm like Marvel, DC, anime, Dragon Ball Z, all that stuff. I go the whole gambit of that. So I'm definitely being a superhero. I think it gives us something to aspire to.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gives you hope for those like myself who have been in low places. You need a little something to just be like, okay, you know what, it is going to be all right. It is going to be okay. So you know what, let me use something just to help me get out of this hole that I'm in.
Exactly.
And superhero movies do that. I personally didn't. I'll make a personal fan. I didn't know she was a superhero kind of girl until I asked her, did she watch the King Kong and Godzilla movie?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Kong got his ass whooped by Godzilla. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but it's true. A lot of y'all won't have this belief that Kong was going to win. No. So don't get mad at me. It's the movie. Godzilla whipped his ass.
Wow.
So when I found that part out, I had to know. And I remember you saying your favorites were Storm and Phoenix.
Yeah. Storm has always been my favorite. I remember my dad is an artist as well, and I remember him drawing me a picture, and I had it for years of Storm. I just always thought she was the most beautiful. I loved her powers, all of that. And then as I got older and, you know, they started incorporating the Phoenix into the movies and everything. Like I used to watch X-Men as a kid, and I saw when she was transitioning to Phoenix and all that, but I didn't quite understand it as much. But now, just seeing her in the movies and how powerful she is, and I just think she's dope. So
yeah. Storm has always been for me one of my favorite characters, particularly she was African American, but also her being African American, she was a goddess. She was worshipped, but she had, like I said, some dope ass powers that you just can't deny. I mean, a woman that can fuck with the weather. They're like, fellas, hate to break it to you, but imagine pissing her off.
Right, exactly.
You gonna be late for work because there'll be a snowstorm waiting outside for your ass, and you live in Texas where it's hot.
Right.
So just saying, there's a lot to that power. The Phoenix, well, with me, I go deep into it because there's the Phoenix that we all know and love, which is Jean Grey. But in an alternate timeline, her and Scott, who is Cycler, have a kid named Rachel, and she's called the Phoenix too. But the Phoenix itself is a more powerful entity, whatever, because at the time it was given to Jean Grey, what some people don't know is she was actually one of the weakest members on the X-Men. So a creator by the name of Chris Claremont decided to give her a power to help upbring her and also to uplift women as well. But if you look at the background, what Phoenix is born out of ash, is born out of fire, and it restarts everything. So it's like a rebirth.
A rebirth,
so definitely with that happening, that is a beautiful thing. And I must say, those are two good characters to have. My personal top 5, and not in any order, is Cable, Wolverine, I've danced around with this one, but I will say Cyclops, but he is kind of a mixture for him because he has a different background, whatever. We cannot say anything without mentioning Black Panther himself, the king of Wakanda, smart, highly intelligent, strong, a leader, and Storm and Black Panther actually got married at one point in time, but during the Civil War II, they got a divorce. But still something to shoot for. And number 5, most importantly, is the Incredible Hulk. Those are some of my personal favorites for a variety of different reasons. And if you ever get a chance to read his World War Hulk when he goes to his World Breaker form, Great read. I've read a million times, and great read because you learn he gets banished from Earth, and they ship him to a whole nother planet. He fights there, wins, finds a wife. On his way flying back home, ship blows up. The wife is in it, and he automatically triggers and realized that the people responsible for it was the mall version of the Illuminati, which was Professor X, who was not there when it happened, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt of the Inhumans. Those four were the ones who shipped him out. So when he came back, all hell broke loose.
I believe it.
And the angrier he got, the stronger he got. He got to a point where he got so mad, he actually stomped on the ground, and it shook the entire eastern seaboard.
Wow.
And that's when they say he entered his world breaker form. And to delve into that a little bit more, it said he did out of love. Because all he kept hearing was his wife talking to him, talking to him, and he got angrier and angrier because at the time he didn't know she was carrying his kid too.
Oh, wow.
So as he got angrier and angrier, the rage just kicked in, and you can kind of relate to that, because when you love someone, when you really love someone, when that person is gone, and in a way that is violent, you feel a certain way because you can hear that person.
Right.
And you do nothing to have that person next to you. Of course, we're all going to get our promotion in life, but we would rather it be when we're old and gray and because of natural causes, not something that could have been prevented. So it's kind of like he got angry, but it was love behind it. And that's something as a romantic of myself, as I always say, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
So I definitely say, read that comic. It's a good one. It's probably one of my favorites. I will say that much. But the one thing I was always wondering is that now, with us being out here in the dating world or whatever, and it comes down to finances and things of that nature. And what I have seen throughout my travels, whatever, is that a lot of women are wanting a man to make 6 figures or more when they're not even at that level. I guess my overall question is there something wrong with dating a man? Because honestly speaking, and you can look these numbers up, and these are facts. The average black man in America makes about 50 grand a year, plain and simple. That's the average blue collar worker. These are your airport workers, construction workers, people just run, your everyday people make about 50 grand a year. The black woman herself, she makes about, and once again, she makes about 40,000 a year. So the question is that with that number being out there, why do you feel, if personally, that is such a hurdle for some people to get over, per se?
Well, first of all, for me, I don't feel you need to make that kind of money. When I even see that, to me, the definition of high value man is completely different than just the financial numbers. High value to me is someone who doesn't cheat, who knows how to be faithful, who loves children, who's a good father, who has a good foundation. That to me is more high value than how much you make on a salary. I think we're in this world of social media now, and Instagram models and all that, and they tend to make it seem like that's the big desire. In my opinion, that's not the big desire. I don't know any of my friends. Of course, if someone made 100,000, of course they would be happy. Anybody would be happy if you found somebody who make that kind of money and you're going to be comfortable.
Right.
But to me, I don't know anybody who that's their goal. I don't know anybody like that. My friends, that's not what we talk about. We don't sit up there and say, we say good provider. And a good provider can basically take care of the basic needs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The good provider provides comfort and protection to his family. For me, it's not the financial part. So I'm not in agreement with that. I don't even know where all that comes from. But that's just not my experience.
Okay.
You know. So
And I want to backdoor when you say, because that was a question as well. Has social media played a part in dating nowadays? Because I say I was fortunate in life. My mother and father met, got married, stayed married till my father passed away. So my friends would tell you, when it comes to having the blueprint of what a marriage is, I have heaven, because I've seen what it looks like and I know what to expect from that. And I've sat down with them on several occasions, because we do have this conversation about relationships, because I have a more of an old school view from it than what they have, because there are situations that are different. And I remember them saying that, Chris, well, you can't expect to have, that's the old way. They don't do that anymore. And it is because of social media and things of that nature, whatever, because it's now that if a young lady wants to get attention, she can just take a picture, put it here, and get thousands of likes or whatever. But the question is okay, but once all that's over with, how are you at night? I mean, who's there to hold you at night? Who's there to...
You're there to hold yourself.
Well, yeah, holding yourself is fine. Don't get me wrong.
We don't need,
But-
okay, I'm not going to say it like this. Okay, we need men, but we don't need men. You see what I'm saying? So...
Explain.
Okay, we want you. You know what I'm saying? We desire to have you by our sides. But just because I post a picture and I get 1,000 likes doesn't mean I'm lonely at night.
True.
Doesn't mean that. It might just mean I'm confident in how I look.
True.
You see what I'm saying? It might be like, I just thought this was a fire pic and I want to post it and I want to share with everyone.
True.
Doesn't mean that when I lay down at night, I'm sad and I'm depressed because I don't have anybody.
True.
Sometimes, and it's case by case, but we have to be realistic. Some women, they post those pictures and they're searching for attention, and some women are just confident and want to show you how they look that day. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really think it has anything to do with, that little part that you said, that little, but I mean, I understand where you're coming from or what you think, but I mean, I don't know. Social media has changed a lot. But I think as a people, we just need to evolve. If you allow social media to, I guess, delegate how your life is going to go or how your relationship is going to go, then that's ridiculous.
Your karma. That's what you carry.
Exactly.
And
for me, it's just not that way. And I grew up in a household like you did. My mom and dad are still married. Yesterday was my father's birthday. They're still together. They love each other dearly. They were married after knowing each other for 3 months. So. Wow. Yeah, exactly. So.
We need to bring that back. That's 3 months.
I mean.
Good job, Dad.
Well, they met. My mom was divorced. She was in a rough relationship for 12 years. They met after her divorce, and she was at work. I think her dad introduced them or something. And first night they talked on the phone, fell asleep on the phone. Then me and my sisters, I was adopted, so I was adopted from her sister. We were about to go into the system, and she sat my dad down and was like, "Yo, we're getting married on June 28th, 1986." And he was like, "Okay." And she said, "We're going to do this so we can get these children that don't be separated." And he was like, "Okay," because he loved her that much. He knew automatically, and he worships the ground she walks on. She's very respectful. She's not one to pop off at the mouth. She's not ratchet. She's very classy, sophisticated lady. And he's a loving husband and a great provider. And my dad actually hasn't even worked since like 97 because he crushed his knee. But being a provider is not always financial. You see what I'm saying?
True. That is true.
He's still the protector of the household. He still makes sure my mom is okay and takes good care of her. She takes good care of him. For me, that's why maybe a lot of my views are different. Like, I don't care how much money you make.
It's not per se, your views are not per se different. I will agree with that, because even with my father, in his later years, he wasn't working. But we were fortunate enough that he did get unemployment, but also we have other members of my family had businesses that were inherited through. So he made sure, so he brought money in, but just not through working. And I remember clearly every morning, he would get up and make my mom's lunch for her to go to work, and he would be around the house. So I will personally never really say that it has to be financial, because it doesn't have to always. It doesn't have to always be financial.
I'm all for love.
But
Yeah.
but what I will say is that being a provider and things of that nature is what's important. I myself, the way I was raised, the ways I came up, I was like, okay, you have to be able to provide for your family. That's the way you have to be. And the way that I know, since I'm an able-bodied man, is to go to work, is to bring home a check, or my situation, too, because I'm single and I got issues, so I work.
Right.
But that's my way to say to my potential partner, wherever she may be, okay, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to provide for this family, but I still need your help.
Right.
Now, the part at nighttime, whatever, I can say that's probably just me, because it does get lonely sometimes. It does. And that's not a desire that no one can deny. Say, okay, that you don't get lonely, because you do. But at the end of the day, we need each other. Men and women, we need each other. To quote Trick Daddy Dollars, and a lot of people say, how can you use it? But he made a very good point. He was on Breakfast Club. He said that every man should love a woman, every woman should love a man. Being in a relationship, it gives you power, it gives you structure, it helps you go through life. And I'm a firm believer of that. Somewhere along the way, I don't know where, we kind of went this way.
I agree with you, Chris, but I think that's more of the fairy tale to me. I mean, and believe me, I love the fairy tale. I am a romantic. I love love. But in reality, with the numbers in that there are of people, there's just some people who are not going to ever be in a relationship. And if you're not happy and if you don't love yourself, you see what I'm saying? Like, you will lead a sad life. So for me, that's where I come in, where we don't need you, we want you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We want a relationship, and everybody doesn't want a relationship. Some people are perfectly fine single. Some people are perfectly fine not ever having kids, not ever getting married.
True.
So that's why I say we don't need you. Because see, when you say need is like, we need food. We need water. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like something you can't live without. But we can live without you. And I've been living without a man for 4 years. And I've been the main provider of my household. And I'm the one who, cooks the food and all that stuff. It's not that, and I'm not saying we don't, I know you guys sometimes, because I was always taught by women, older women, to stroke your ego. You want to feel needed. So to let him feel needed.
True.
So I get that part.
Yeah,
but for me, we don't necessarily need you. We want you. That's how I look at it.
Okay, and I agree with that. And you're right, you're right. It is like food and water, because we do need that, because if not, we won't make it.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say, and use the right words to say it is that you can live without us, but why not have us? We're here.
And that's where the romantic fairy tale.
Yeah, that's what I'm
comes
saying.
from.
I mean, it's like we
you
can
make life better, just like we make life better.
Yes, you're right. We can make it by ourselves. We can. But why would you really want to walk around looking at girls all day?
I mean, honestly, but it's all about what's for you, though.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So for you want a loving relationship one day, long, get married, all that good stuff. Me, same thing. One day down the line, loving relationship, get married, have the whole fairy tale and the kids in the park. I want that. But some people, that's just not their goal in life, their fantasy, and that's okay.
Yeah, that is okay. I
think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
but,
I know people, and people close to me as well, and I've taught this to my daughter as well. I said, look, I told my daughter even at a young age, I said, look, if you don't want to get married, you don't have to. You don't have to. Whatever you don't want to, you don't have to do. You have to be what's happy for you. I, as your father, I want to get married because I feel it brings a certain value to me. but you don't have to.
Exactly.
And I completely agree with the fact that you do not have to get married, or you don't have to. You don't have to. You can make a choice
Exactly, and
not
that's
to.
why we have so many choices and lifestyles now and everything. Like me, I honestly identify as polyamorous. For now, during the dating process, but one day I will find that person that I will want to be monogamous with, and only be with that person. Period. But right now, I identify myself as polyamorous. I am practicing the true definition of dating. I am dating multiple people and having multiple, interactions and relationships with them until I find the one. That I decide, okay, well, this is the person I want to date exclusively. And some people just don't make me feel that way. Some people are like, yeah, I don't want to ever be exclusive with you. I'm going to continue my little list with other people. But one day the goal is to find someone that I can be monogamous with, and that is, that'll be my prize. That's my goal. But